And so, because you are that, you are capable, you are gifted, and you are so unique. All of the things that you may hate about yourself are your strengths.
This morning.
It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be opinionated. It's okay to be different. And it's so okay to just be you. The world awaits to receive you.
All right. Blessings, and grand risings. Welcome to Uncensored Enlightenment Talk. We're doing things a little different. We're just trying some stuff, building the audience, seeing what time frames will work for us for what segments. So yesterday I was supposed to go live last night around 7 p.m. to do the Karmelo Anthony case. Um, Highlighting the major terms, and we're going to compare and contrast to the Caysen Allison case. So what we're going to do is do it this morning. So we're going to do the segment, Let's Talk About It with Grace. Thank you for being here. Now, today we're going to talk about 3 cases, or maybe 4, because this issue with these 2 young kids, they're babies. This is nothing new to what's going on in the United States. As you can see, I don't only have Caysen Allison here. Don't only have Karmelo Anthony and his victim, but we also gonna go into Kyle Rittenhouse, as well as another stabbing that just took place a couple of days ago. So we're going to highlight to you today that this is a systemic issue. All right. What we're going to try to do most likely on all our broadcasts is not be biased. We're going to give you all angles, and we're going to talk about it because I think a lot of people are missing the mark with this. They're missing the mark with this, and they're literally using this situation to make it a race war. We're going to watch the interview from Karmelo's family, as well as we're going to watch the interview from the victim's family as well. And we're just going to get into it. So if you got time this morning, please hit the like button. Thank you for tuning in with me and trying some new things out today. I woke up nice and bright and said, hey, let's get it. And I ask you guys, I'm going to be honest, please send love and blessings and prayer to me, your host, Grace Levi. I've been going through a big transition. It has not been easy for me, mentally, physically. Well, physically, I've been okay, financially. So I'm really trying to get my foot back into what's going on with my life, where I'm going. So please bear with me if I make a live and I don't show up. I do apologize. Last night after working my other 2 platforms, I just said, let me go to bed, So thank you so much for being here this morning. Now, this just took place most recently. This was a couple of days ago, actually a couple of hours ago. Update: Virginia teen stabbed in school. So let's watch this together because this is another situation that just took place.
Officers say a 16-year-old is in the hospital after being stabbed at West Potomac High School during a fight. Officers arrested a 15-year-old and are now questioning a 3rd teenager. 7 News' Tom Rousey is live in the Alexandria area school. And Tom, you spoke with frightened parents today. What are they telling you?
Victoria, a lot of them told me their kids actually witnessed this and were very traumatized by it. Let me step out of the way. The kids have been released for the day now. The police have left the scene, but you can still see some of the police tape in the distance there. It's inside the school somewhere near that area where this happened around 9:40 this morning. Now, we want to show you a picture. We're blocking out part of it because it shows the student lying on the ground, and there's blood as well that we felt was too disturbing to show. But I can tell you this is the aftermath of that stabbing that happened when students were between classes this morning. Police say 3 students got into a fight. At one point, a 15-year-old pulled out a knife and stabbed a 16-year-old, rushed to the scene to pick their teenagers up. They grew frustrated when the school system would not let them in even after Fairfax County Police said the danger was over.
Why can't I check out my daughter from school right now? That's all I care about, because there's multiple victims in this, and my daughter is one because she witnessed this. She's telling me, Dad, get me out of here.
Wait. Let's stop right here. There's so many things that come to mind when I watch this. Doesn't this look familiar? You remember when they had the active school shooting? It's been so many. The one where the parents had to run in and go get their kids because literally the police was outside afraid to go in, and it took parents to go in to get their kids. Now, this is a whole nother story about the functionality of school. This is the reason why I pull my kids out, because I don't deal with this where you say I can't come in there when I want to, or I can't pick my kids up when I want to. That's a whole nother story. But in this particular situation, again, there was an active stabbing in a high school. And again, what we're not looking at is what is the cause of these active stabbings. When I looked at the statistics of active like crime and stabbings and shootings in school, I mean, from 2020, it skyrocketed. Like something is going on mentally with our kids, emotionally. All right. So this team right here actually survived. This just happened the other day. So we're bringing this up because I want you guys to know that this is not exclusive to what's going on with this infamous case that has to do with, I keep missing so many names, Mr. Hold on one second, Carmelo and Austin. Let me make sure, because there's so many going on. It's pretty ridiculous. So again, this just happened the other day. I wanted to make you guys aware of some of the issues that we are facing in our schools, outside of our schools, and what the parents have to deal with. This is very scary. Okay. So let's just finish watch this real quick.
If everything is safe, like you're saying, I have ID, why can't I check my daughter out of school right now?
The paramount responsibility of our leadership team is to make sure that our campus is safe at this moment. They're also making sure that our 4 lunch periods happen in a calm and orderly and safe manner.
I don't care about lunch right now. Like you're worried about lunch.
If you can
He said, I don't care about lunch. I want my kids. And that's exactly why I homeschool. There was a time where there was some big issue in the school and I couldn't get my kid out of school. It was very troubling. It's very troubling when they say you can't come in to get your child, especially in the middle of these type of things. But wait, this story gets better. This story gets better, but worse. Okay. This is America. This is what we have to deal with. Now, the main reason why I want to do these segments, let's talk about it, because I really think that we're missing the mark of what is the issue here. So the team coverage, students at two officers shot on the same day. Okay, it's going down. So let's watch this. Let's watch this. How are we gonna rectify this right here? They have that stabbing going on with the students. Then you have 2 officers that got shot. Now, I want to bring this up because the main thing that we're not addressing is the violence that's going on in our community amongst our teens. And it has tripled and quadrupled since the pandemic. After the kids have been released back to school, something has ticked them off where there is no emotional discernment. Now, guys, we talked about this before. I don't know if you heard me talk about this in prior broadcasts, but I do connect the emotional state of our people, of our children, to the internet. They have a big lawsuit against gaming. If y'all haven't seen it popping up on your algorithm, because not only did it subject our kids to predators, but it also made them have worse symptoms than ADHD. They have behavior problems. They're emotionally liable, and that is directly connected to them trying to get instant gratification from the game. We could get scientific here because I have talked about this. They have scientifically proven that there is a sensor mechanism in the brain that is skipped when the kids are watching these violent games. What does that mean? Meaning that if they murder somebody in the game it is not the same sense of, how can I say, urgency, despair, horror that they will feel if they do it in person, because there's this thing called the trumpet circuit. Go look it up. It's so weird. Trumpet circuit. This circuit actually programs the brain not to do something because it felt the pain or it felt the repercussions. So since this is not being done in the game where, someone is being urged, they lose a life, they could just get it right back. They're bypassing that trumpet circuit, which say, hey, this action will cause pain and horror. Example, if you, as a child, burn their hands on the stove, that trumpet circuit is actually initiated. That burning hot sensation on the skin made them aware, don't do that again. So that is missing from our kids and now a lot of our adults because we're living on the internet. Nothing is truly real to them. Nothing truly affects them because it's an internet land. So, trial for another deadly Texas school stabbing involving teenager is flying under the radar. Aiming Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf murder case. So that's what we want to talk about because this took place about a year and a half ago with Jose Ramirez and Mr. Caysen Allison. Another Texas murder trial involving a high school student stabbing another in ongoing, but has quietly flowed under the radar, aimed the Caysen Allison case. Now, it says Caysen Allison is on trial for murder. Now, this is Caysen Allison right here. It is the Caucasian young man. Is on trial for murder right now for stabbing Jose Ramirez to death during a fight at a Texas high school. His $1 million bond was reduced to $175,000. So that is, that was one of the talking points of the anarchists. I'm going to call the people who want to make this a race issue anarchists. Okay, that's what they want to make this as a race war. But you're going to see it's not a race thing. It's a behavior thing. It's an emotional discernment thing. It's a, excuse me, us not knowing what's going on with our kids, as well as it's a school not addressing issues that are bubbling up with our kids because they don't know how to address it. So guess what, TE? You didn't hear any outrage from the same people upset about Karmelo Anthony's bond being reduced. Okay. We're going to highlight the bias. In his case, not only one of his kind take place in Texas at the moment. So they're calling Allison one of their kind. However, as the trial of the students who admitted stabbing his classmate to death a few years ago begins this week, Caysen Allison now is 21 and he confessed. So we're going to get into what happened. And this took place inside of the school bathroom. This was an incident, from what I have researched, that was bubbling up for a while. And it seems like both parties in this particular case was pretty sick of each other. So what we're going to do is just look at a few clips so you guys can get an understanding of what happened with the Caysen Allison case. And then we're going to get into the Karmelo case and kind of get into another teenager who thinks that he can talk about this, highlighting that he beat a murder trial a couple of years ago, aiming allegedly self-defense. So we're going to compare and contrast what's going on around here, because that really gets to me when people pick and choose what's good and bad. That has always been Grace Levi's argument. You cannot pick and choose what's right for you right now and not right for the other person. Bad is bad. That's why we should not have selected justice. Okay, let's play this real quick.
The brother of Joe Ramirez returned to the stand today in the murder trial against Caysen Allison. Allison is accused of stabbing and killing Joe Ramirez in a Belton High bathroom in 2022. 6 News reporter Sydney Walker has been in court all week. Sydney, what did you learn today?
Ramirez's brother returned to the stand today along with two others. Emotions ran high today, with one member in the gallery removed from the gallery after he yelled out at the defense, calling him ignorant, and was escorted out of the courtroom. Ramirez's brother, plus a medical examiner and a close friend of Caysen, were on the stand today. Today, we learned Joe Ramirez had been previously arrested for assault when he was 18 and the victim was 17. He was brought to tears. Ramirez's brother was brought to tears when videos from that day were shown to him. The defense also asked if Ramirez was, quote, mad that Caysen fought back, to which he replied, "I'm mad that he killed my brother." Next up was a medical examiner who oversaw Ramirez's autopsy. He shared that their examination found 4 separate.
Now I need you guys to listen to this right here. Now this right here, I'm questioning the self-defense argument because of this detail right here. But this is being swept under the rug, and no one is talking about this.
Separate stab wounds on Ramirez's body.
Hold on.
Ramirez's body. 4 separate stab wounds on Ramirez's body. The examiner said that the cause of death was stabbing with homicide as the matter of death. We learned there was 1 large stab wound across Ramirez's chest, which caused multiple injuries to both the heart itself and the left lung, as well as 2 stab wounds on his buttocks and a wound on his upper back and left forearm. Last up for the day was a friend of Allison who shared that he had heard from others that Allison had brought a knife to school that day, but was unsure if Allison had told him this personally. That friend will.
So let's listen to the details here. If you hear, there was numerous stab wounds. I think in one of the broadcast clips I have, literally, it seems like it was 2 in the front and 4 in the back, in the buttocks, in the back of the shoulder. This was a murder. This was a homicide. This was vicious. So we have to think of the mental state of the child, of the young person to do this. Also highlighting that Ramirez's brother is involved as well. Kind of markedly similar to what's going on with the other case, but it's just a little bit different now. Here we're finding out more details about what took place prior to all of it happening. So we're going to kind of get into some of the details because that's what we're missing in the other case. What took place before the stabbing? So in the Caysen Allison case, you're going to hear a series of events that happened that should have been addressed by the school or the parents.
We'll be back next week to testify and probably talk about some evidence that was discussed today, consisting of 2 text message chains between Allison and the friend. Trial will not resume until Monday, April 21st. We'll be back for you then. Live in Belton, Sydney Walker, 6 News.
All right, we thank you.
Okay, so that's the opening of it, and the trial is starting. So what we're going to do is have a special on that particular trial to see how it's going. But we want to introduce this to you because they're sweeping it under the rug. This school violence thing is a systemic issue, and I believe it crossed color lines. It crossed color lines. Now, this is the student who witnessed the stabbing in Caysen Allison case. And it says that one, and now you're going to hear it's contradicting witness statements because you'll hear some kids saying that, hey, Jose didn't want to fight. Caysen Allison was already talking about murdering him. And then you hear some kids saying Jose was aggressive. His brothers was out there fighting and he liked to fight. They were recording kids fighting. Okay, this was something that has been going on. So if the students know about it, I would assume the adults know as well.
High students said about Caysen Allison in court today.
The trial of the suspect accused of stabbing and killing Joe Ramirez resumed this morning in Bell County, bringing 4 new witnesses to the stand.
News 10's Madison Herber has been in court all day and joins us live now with more on what was uncovered. Madison.
Good evening, Lauren and Gordon. The witnesses included 2 people who were former students that were in the bathroom the day that fight broke out, Tito Shamel and Angel Murillo. Shamel explained to the court that he was a good friend of Joe Ramirez and was in the bathroom with Ramirez and Allison when chaos ensued. And he even caught a portion of that altercation on video, which was shared today with the jury. And there was also a Belton Police Department detective who revealed the crime scene photos from that day. And then there was also
another thing I just want to hit. I want to talk about, just hit this right here. When has it become normal for us to just record crimes? For us just to record someone's being assaulted, someone's being murdered. I mean, you've seen this really taking place in different situations, and that talks about the empathy level that we have. You know, the urgency level straight connected back to that trumpet circuit, even in adults, where, you know, you remember they watched a lady get set on fire in the train in New York, recorded it. And they recorded some lady getting AR'd on the train. I forgot what state it was, recorded it. We watched an officer murder a black man in the street for 8 minutes, recorded it. This is really talking about our empathy level. This is saying a lot about America, about us, how we're practicing like heathens. So they're recording this as well. They're recording it inside the bathroom. And I'm like, wow, like, how do they get a tape of this? Do they have bathroom cameras in the team's bathroom? No, the kids was recording it. Nobody really stopping it, but we're recording it. And this goes directly reflective of our moral compass. It's ridiculous. And we got to talk about it a little different here, because this is more than a racial issue. This is a systematic issue that our kids are emotionally distressed. They don't know how to handle conflict. We don't know how to handle them. And our school system is not teaching them emotional intelligence or no intelligence, in my opinion. I'm just keeping it real. So, yeah, let's go.
A friend of Allison's and an acquaintance of Ramirez, Raina Barber, she took the stand and explained to the court how she was trying to calm Ramirez down just moments before the fight broke out. Now, the photos from the crime scene followed a trail of blood droplets around part of the school, leading to a pool of blood where Ramirez collapsed. The detective explained that it was after getting photos of the scene, he talked to a witness who provided a statement and video of the fight that started in the bathroom. Video was replayed from yesterday showing the school hallway where you see the boys entering the bathroom and then leaving sometime later in a rush. And then the short video caught on Shamel's phone of what happened on the other side of the door was played. Shamel explaining that what he caught on video shows Ramirez taking the first swing at Allison, and then you see Allison pull out the knife before a loud scream is heard and the video cuts off. Barber said Allison didn't want to fight and just wanted to make it to graduation. And Shamel said in the moment, it didn't look like Allison wanted to fight. Barber also said that Ramirez and his friends were known to fight, and Shamel saying Ramirez liked having his fights recorded.
So these are the things, these are the rumors that's coming out. That's why I wanted to wait to even make any type of commentary on Karmelo Anthony's case, because it looks like this on the surface, but when you get down to the nitty gritty, it's probably everybody wrong in some type of way, or did something or did not do something to prevent the situation. So not only were they recording, not only did, now this is a statement from one of the witnesses there. And I'm going to tell you, it's contradictory witness statements, because they're trying to, in this statement is like they saying Caysen Allison didn't want to fight. Jose was like basically known for fighting. They recorded. So if it's recordings of fights taking place at the school, you're telling me the school not aware? You're telling me that the authorities not aware when they're constantly searching metaverse? They're constantly looking for things. Do you see what I'm saying? These things actually bubbled up. So more people have to take responsibility for this happening. Let's keep this going, because I want to break down some of the key elements of these cases so you guys can kind of dive a little deeper, and we don't just go assuming anything because you know how the news is. Pick a side, run with it. No. We're going to get everybody and highlight what's wrong so we can try to fix it. And what I'm saying here is a systematic issue that took place in the school, and they did not address this. Wait, it gets better, because this gets better. I mean, worse, but better.
And that this fight was planned, but no one expected it to happen on school grounds. Barber said it wasn't normal for Allison to have a knife on him, but she knew he had one because Allison told her he got one for protection. An altercation was described by former students that an argument broke out at a prom after party, and it was likely that Ramirez and Allison verbally fought over a girl.
Do you hear it? Do you hear it? Started at a prom after party, fighting over a girl. Pretty typical teenager thing. No conflict resolution, but gets worse what you hear here is allegedly a gun was involved.
Mel told the court that Ramirez looked surprised to see Allison in the bathroom that day, and you could feel the tension between the two. Barbara is seen talking to Ramirez on the hallway security footage, visibly upset. She started to cry as she explained to the court that she was trying to tell Ramirez that the fight isn't worth it because they are about to graduate.
Kid play that turned tragic. So they're probably on day 10 at this point. So we're just trying to get some updates on what's going on with this case because the news is not highlighting it. Literally, it's 410 views on some of these videos that I'm showing you. And it's a direct compare and contrast to what we're watching today. And that's why we have a misinterpretation of what's going on with the Karmelo Anthony case, because if we pay attention to what's going on systemically in school, we'll look at it deeper than just a race issue. Our kids are sick. Our system is sick.
Testimony from 4 new witnesses and saw several pieces of new evidence in the Caysen Allison trial. News 10's Isabella Quintanilla joins us now live outside of the Bell County Justice Complex with more from day 5 of the trial. Isabella?
Yes, that's right, Lauren. Today, we heard from Chris Biddle, who was Allison's friend, and it was in the bathroom the day of the stabbing. We also heard from Joe Ramirez's ex-girlfriend and 2 investigators on the case. Now, things started off with testimony from Biddle, first looking at text messages between him and Allison in the days leading up to the stabbing. Now, from previous testimony, we do know that there was a heated argument between Allison and Ramirez at a prom after party. And in those text messages, Allison did send a text to Biddle after that party saying, quote, "Bro, bring me a gun." He also recalled what happened that day, explaining that while there was a plan to fight, they did not plan to fight in school and were surprised to see Ramirez and his friends in the bathroom. Biddle says they tried to leave after using the restroom, but that Ramirez and his 4 friends wouldn't let them. That's when, according to Biddle, Ramirez punched Allison, and when Biddle tried to step in, he was hit by Josh Rios, which was shown in the phone video of the fight that was replayed for the jury.
So they all was in there fighting. They all was in there fighting, and unfortunately, Caysen was the one that landed the fatal blow. Pulled out a because I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna have to get old school with y'all. These kids don't know how to fight. They don't know how to defend themselves. And me as a mother, that was one of the things that I definitely made sure that my son knew how to do. He has 2nd-degree black belt. Because I know that these people are scary and they don't know how to fight. So that right there increased the fear factor, increased the chances of them going to get a knife or a gun because it's easily accessible. But at the end of the day, you as a parent see what's going on with your kid. I don't want to hear that these parents did not see or hear something escalated. I can always tell when my kid got issues, teenager come in there, face all twisted up. You're like, what's wrong? If you have open lines of communication with your kids, you'll be able to identify when things are happening or when they're about to pop off. We're supposed to be the savior of these kids. So these kids now have to take responsibility in the court of the law. But the issue is the parents. And I'm being real because I have been in the middle of a lot of nonsense because my teenager, I got a 21-year-old now and my daughter about to be 20, but we went through it. And every time something happened, I could walk right in the room and be like, what is going on with you, girl? You're yelling at the phone. What's wrong with your boy? So this went overlooked from the parents because it's been bubbling for days. Not a race issue. But at the end of the day, the reason why we're bringing this up because Mr. Caysen is Caucasian. And some of the things that he did in this makes it hard for me to feel like it's self-defense. This is literally a school brawl that went wrong.
We then heard from Madison Barnes, Ramirez's ex-girlfriend and a close friend of Allison's. During her testimony, she says that Allison made threats against Ramirez to her before the stabbing, sharing that he told her that he, quote, wanted Joe on life support, wanted to stomp his head in, wanted his jaw dangling from his face, and wanted him in the hospital, end quote.
Valence. I do apologize for the violent talk this morning, but you need to hear both sides. First, it was Jose. It was him talking about, they like to fight all the time, record things. And as more things come out and the truth come out, then you have Allison like, hey, I want him gone. I want him viciously there. I want to do this. So it was coming from both sides, where the argument of self-defense, I believe, is definitely thrown out the window. And this is the fault of our system. No way that they did not know that this was happening, but the administration probably was like, let me just mind my business. We get into graduation, get these damn kids out of here, and look what happened. This was
the jury was then
this was prime time. They almost made it to graduate.
Asked to leave before Robert Preston, one of the investigators on the case, was called to the stand. Preston shared he got a search warrant for Allison's Snapchat. Defense and prosecution went back and forth for a while on the authenticity of a voice message that had been submitted as evidence, which Judge Faulkner accepted after leaving to review it. When the jury returned, they played the recording, which was Allison explaining everything to an unknown person. In the video, Allison says that Ramirez and his friends pulled out a gun at the party after they had gotten into an argument. He goes on.
You see me? I'm a mama here reacting like, oh, imagine if these were your kids. That's why I said, let's not get caught up in the race relations and all this nonsense. This is scary for me as a parent, even with a 21-year-old, to see the level of intensity that this went. Guns pulled out for arguments over girls. When you like, listen, this is literally a short time in your life. There are millions of girls out there. All we needed was a logical conversation to happen. They saw this occurring, and us as adults had our trumpet circuit bypassed and just did this or did this. Mind our damn business. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Let's just get the last minute of this story, and then we're going to move on into getting a little bit details of Karmelo Anthony story. Okay. And I'll tell you how I'm going to come at that, because it's really hard to find unbiased information about that case. It's really annoying, for real.
On to say they later texted him and were talking about jumping him, with Allison then saying, quote, "We finna catch them tomorrow." He ended the recording by saying, quote, "I'm going to send him to the hospital."
Now,
quote,
listen, this is Allison. They got the text of him saying, I'm going to send him to the hospital. We're going to get him. Let me get a gun. Self-defense case is out. Y'all parents need to talk to y'all kids. Running that mouth too, get him in a whole lot of trouble. And that's the same thing with Karmelo. Some of the things that he said made it controversial. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you touch me, you're going to see what happened. But we're going to talk about that.
"We finna catch them tomorrow." He ended the recording by saying, quote, "I'm going to send him to the hospital." Finally, we heard from Detective Robert Gatewood, who was one of the officers that went to Allison's house that day after they had gotten a call about a possible suspect. When they arrived, Allison's mom led them inside to the bathroom, where Allison was heard by officers talking to someone on the phone, saying, quote, "I did something at school," and asking them to come and take him to Waco. This audio recording was played to the jury, who also saw photos from inside the house, including a picture of Allison's white Air Forces that were splattered in blood. When he left the bathroom, Allison was then taken into custody, cooperating with officers and telling them, quote, "I was just trying to protect myself." During his interview, Detective Gatewood says Allison described the knife used on Ramirez to detectives, telling them where to find it after he had thrown it onto the side of the road from his car. Now, again, court will.
Now, I'm confused, because it's like, okay, this happened in the bathroom, and then they said they arrested him coming out of the bathroom. He made a phone call. That is traumatizing. Imagine you're a kid calling you like, "Mom, Dad, I did something. I'm about to go to jail." Oh my God. So heart-wrenching. I'm a little confused about when the arrest took place, because they said the knife was thrown out of a car. But at the end of the day, he is arrested. He was released, and now he's going through trial. So we're going to be paying attention to this. The trial is not live, so I have to get the day-to-day update. And I'm going to say shout out to KW Texas News 10, because they've been keeping up with this. This literally had 470 views. I thought my channel was suppressed. For real, I don't take no more offense because they pick and choose what they want to push through the algorithm. This is ridiculous. So there's a lot of factors that we highlighted in this particular case. That one is it makes it way out the realm of race. Two, there's a lot of things that we could have did as adults to address this. There were plenty of situations I think prior to this that it could have been addressed at home, at the prom. It's been bubbling up for a while. Also to the fact that Mr. Jose allegedly was recording fights prior to this. So it was on social media. The cops should have been involved. Family should have been aware as well. Defense scrutinized Caysen Allison health during police interview in 7-day murder trial. Now, I don't know what they're trying to say, but let me just put this up there because, we're going to be following this legally once we're able to get more details to see if he actually has a self-defense case, in which I don't believe so. And it's sad. He's a baby.
Case today in the murder trial of Caysen Allison. Allison is accused of stabbing classmate Joe Ramirez nearly 3 years ago. 6 News reporter Sydney Walker is back in the courtroom. So, Sydney, what happened today?
Today was the longest day of the trial thus far. Detective Gene Cole, who was the primary detective on the investigation into the stabbing at Belton High, was on the stand for almost 5 hours, and that's just today. This isn't including his testimony from yesterday as well. After the state rested its case, the defense called 3 witnesses in the last hour of today. The full over an hour-long video of detectives' initial questioning of Allison was shown to the jury today. The video shows Allison lying his head down on the desk and eventually lying on the ground and vomiting in a trash can. In the video, Allison revealed that he took the knife from his stepdad's closet that morning out of fear of being jumped by Ramirez, and also that before Ramirez had punched him, he had pulled the knife out and told Ramirez, quote, "Don't touch me or I'm going to stab you." What followed was a long period of pushback from the defense regarding the overall investigation. They asked why Allison was questioned even though he was visibly ill, why Allison was not Mirandized in a more serious matter, and why Cole did not view security footage previously. They also asked once again why phones were not collected at the scene before the lockdown was.
Now, this is where the administrative issue is going to be coming in and the investigative issues. You see all the things that the police did not do. That boy wasn't sick. That boy realized that he was going to jail and possibly hell. He got sick in the middle, like, but there are proceedings that the police are supposed to do. One, memorize them. You know I'm saying that word. My tongue get heavy, y'all. Heavy. Also, his parents should have been there. I have seen where they did interrogation with the parents right there. And then sometimes I watched this good interrogation. It wasn't good. I felt bad for the mom. Her son had gotten into something, and he always getting into something. And she had to leave work, and she worked in healthcare. She said, "I'm not losing my job for you. What did you do this time?" Literally, it was her and the cop interrogating him. So he told the truth that him and his friend went and was involved in a murder. Okay, so I do think parents are supposed to be there during that line of questioning. If you have a true blue parent that, really has been trying to been on their kid, you're going to get them. Because me, I love my kid. I love my kid. And I don't want them to be guilty of anything. But when I used to go up in that school, I used to, one by one, each one of y'all, the kid wrong, the parent, the teacher wrong, the principal, everybody got holes in this. All y'all done messed up. And now I'm here, got to talk to all of y'all. Oh, please. Yeah. Holes everywhere.
Lifted. The prosecution rested their case just before 4 p.m., and the defense then called 3 witnesses. First was the doctor who treated Allison in the emergency department. He confirmed that Allison was given a CT scan to rule out serious.
Okay, they rest their case. This was 12 hours ago. So we should be hearing a verdict coming up, guys. This was 12 hours ago. I'm like, wait, they rushed the case?
His head injuries like a brain bleed or skull fracture, and also confirmed his diagnosis of a closed head injury.
Oh my God.
Next was a close friend of Allison who was supposed to fight alongside Allison in the planned fight off campus. He said that fight was supposed to occur around 5 p.m. that day and take place in a 3-on-3 format. Last up was a teacher and coach from Belton High who helped stop Ramirez's brother from chasing Allison down the hallway.
Do you hear the series of events? How was Allison and Ramirez and his brother still in school? You just heard that. Oh my God. And then you hear Allison. It's so many bad factors in this that makes it bad for both sides. Allison had a head injury, a concussion. You know, probably that CTA thing, undiagnosed. When you have CTA, that's when you had those football players out there murdering their wives, doing all type of unanger management things. Okay, this definitely plays a role in his behavior. So I don't know if the defense is going to use that as far as the way he behaved and conduct himself. But let's just keep that in mind. Oh, wow. I wish this case was live so we could have watched everything, because there's a lot of factors to this. And that's why I would love to see the Karmelo Anthony trial without us having all of this biased news, so we can hear what exact evidence do they have, what happened. 30 more seconds of us discovering more things that happened with Caysen Allison case, and then we're going to be moving on, and we're going to be listening out to see what's the verdict.
He shared that Josh Rios had told him that his brother was stabbed in the bathroom, and the two went to check, assuming that Ramirez would still be in there. After that, he took Josh to the nurse's office and kept him in there, assuming that, quote, the best way to help Joe was to let the nurses work. In cross-examination, the accuracy of claims made by Allison's friend about who initiated the planning of the fight altogether was questioned, and Snapchat group chats were discussed.
All right, so we're going to leave that right there, and we're going to be following up, hopefully giving you just a short update later on today or tomorrow about the outcome of that case, and then we're going to do a little talk session about that. I really do hope that this next case that everybody is going crazy for literally is televised, because pretty much I'm sick of the bias and the BS. Okay, I am. I'm sick of it. It's not a joke. We have okay. Let's just listen to this. Now we have some factors of what goes on. It's hard for me to just take people clips and news and run with it. Y'all know how I am. I'm not gonna just run with it. So what we're gonna do is listen to Mr. Karmelo Anthony's mother, as well as I can't remember the other Mr. Anthony mother talk. We're going to listen to those two, and we're going to try to draw some conclusions to, kind of what went on based on what they said, as well as we're going to listen to the self-attorney give his opinion on this. And y'all ain't going to like that. Them white people didn't like that opinion, but we're going to listen with active listening so we can have discernment. Because here, it's not about a color thing. I know I'm going to talk about what white people do, what black people do. But this right here, this is a systematic sickness. This is a systematic deadness in our kids, in us. And it is like a cancer. Okay, hopefully I'm going to be able to pull up some of the statistics of the school shootings and the stabbings. They went through the roof since 2020. Like that Ovid had a demon spirit in them or something, because it literally changed society after Ovid, like wickedness. Y'all haven't noticed that? Maybe I'm tripping. So let's listen to family-year-old runner at the Frisco track meet speaks on one-on-one interview. So we're going to watch this.
The kid was mad. My son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
You understand it. I'm not being funny. She understands something. She knows something was going on. Both of the parents, I believe, know something was going on. That's why Karmelo family has this disposition. Because people, and I'm kind of jumping ahead of time, they're saying, why aren't they apologetic? But they are, but it's a standoffish type of thing. Like these two parents had some type of interaction through third party, not maybe face to face, but they knew something was going on, in my opinion. And I think that's going to come out in the case. Let's play this.
Just tell me about what happened today. I don't know. I got a phone call from Hunter. He was screaming that Austin had been stabbed. I was at work, and so I drove. I work in Grapevine, so I drove up to the hospital straight away. I actually beat the ambulance there.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw them, have him come out. He was.
I'm sorry. That says a lot about our healthcare system. That's why I am not in the hospital. I don't want to have nothing to do with them. Wow. That's trifling, but I'm going to move forward.
On a lot of machines, and it didn't take long for them to come in to say that he had passed. So, not sure, senseless act of a boy that was in the wrong tent, and my son doing the right thing by telling that boy that he needed to be removed from where he was, and just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
I believe, and I'm not being insensitive, y'all, because I'm not about to fall for no crocodile tears. My nursing has put a coat on me. She knew what was going on, I believe. Also, I'm going to hear some statements that the father makes. And what he says is that people need to have compassion and understanding for people. But I'm being real. These are behaviors that I'm going to highlight. I think something is severely wrong. This is allegedly the setup. It's pouring down, raining. And Karmelo goes under the tent that he allegedly don't belong under. It's the opposite team tent. That's understandable. It is very tense in the middle of football games, basketball games. I have been there, and it's usually the parents that act like a damn fool, highlighting that. But now it's pouring down, raining, and then you have Hunter and his brother telling him, like, you got to get out of here. This is our tent. Now, I'm just highlighting the talk of compassion, of being human. Why couldn't Karmelo just stand under there? I understand that he was from another team, but I have seen teammates literally carry other teammates to their side of the field when they were injured because it's a game. But I just want to bring that up because you're saying that your son was doing something right by telling him to go. But it's literally an inanimate object. It's raining, and this is a damn game. So something is deeper when it comes to this interaction, and that's what we're listening for. Let's just keep listening.
Tell me about Austin. What do you want people to know about your boy?
Oh, he was the most amazing kid. Oh, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. He just wanted to play football. His life was going to the gym and working out and being a leader on his football team. And he just had such ambitions and a drive that it's hard to find in a kid. And he's just such a good spirit. And so many kids loved him. And his brother lost his best friend.
They're twins, right?
Yeah, identical twins. Yeah.
I'm about to catch.
Now, as this playing, I will say as a mother, regardless of the situation, this is hard to swallow as far as your kid being taken away from you. And then the fact that his brother allegedly held him as he saw his life leave him. And that's a real thing. Like, I have seen people's soul come out of them being a nurse. It's not a joke. So it is very traumatizing to deal with. But nobody's really addressing the trauma. But to my Caucasian cousins, and I already told y'all we kissing cousins, you're not addressing the mental state of this young man who saw his brother being murdered. You're literally fueling the animosity and the hate that will come with the situation and misunderstanding instead of even realizing that one of your own watched his brother's soul leave his life. But that's to white America. That's to my Caucasian cousins. Y'all know I'm at to keep it real, baby. Yeah, but you care. Let's listen.
Like, they are the best of friends. Like, just I'm so worried about my son because he's gonna have to face this world alone now because he had a brother that was with him the whole time, and now he's gonna have to do it alone. And I'm just so worried about him.
I'm worried about him too. I'm worried about the recovery of his mental state, the rage that will be put in his heart because of all of this misrepresentation, I assume. Because I think misrepresentation because y'all making it a race issue. So this boy is going to have to process all of that on top of the miseducation that he have and the education that he do not have from the school and from you guys. Yeah, I'm just being honest. But are we honing in on that? I will pray that as a community, they're honing in on that to make sure that he heals correctly and he don't turn into a mass murderer, allegedly. You don't know what can happen, especially if they're not addressing his mental state and they're throwing all of this race politics in it. You see what I'm saying? We already got our kids emotionally distressed, just all over the place. We can't, it's hard for us to connect with them at this age. You got the internet schooling them and grooving them and grooming them. Yeah, baby. Be worried. Be worried. Give him some counseling, show him some love. Make sure that he knows it's not a racial issue, that it's literally a bad behavior, bad decision situation. I really think that I hope she honed in on that boy because I saw him in an interview. I think I have it. And yeah, he has rage in his heart. And if Karmelo Anthony is not protected, oh, he's going to go do something. I think that's just my opinion. He has rage in his heart.
I really am.
Hunter with Austin Tibbetts.
And I'm not going to say he don't have right to. That's his brother. But you see what I'm talking about? I'm talking about processing this thing. Because what we're doing right now in America, we're finding every which way to destroy our nation, destroy any unity that we have, any collective unity. This is what's happening today.
He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from, he was trying to save his brother. But I think he said he saw when he took his last breath and before the CPR came back in. So for what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was too little too late.
What can the community do for your family?
They need to support the kids at the school. Austin was loved by so many people. They need to know that there's other people out there for them and not against them, you know. And Frisco Memorial.
So let's stop. Listen to details. Why would she say that they need to feel that there's more people for them than against them? That's why I want to hear the trial. I want to hear witness testimonies because something was going on terribly before this. This to me says that it may have been a rivalry or something going on between the schools. It happens, or between those direct to individuals. There is stories that I want to verify through the case because I hear everybody talking that Austin's phone was broken, that this wasn't the first encounter with these twins that are almost double his size. And it is just true. They pretty big, okay? And I'm going to say this just to add my personal, experience. When I came out here in Georgia, my son was playing football. And they have no weight class in football. So, but they have the age that's supposed to be the same. So when I was seeing the 12-year-olds and the 12-year-olds that was compared to my son, I was like, yeah, no. They got fake birth certificate or something. It's not 12 years old. These kids are big. These kids are eating GMO. Now, these kids from the country, it was some big old linebacker, Tonka trunk, Caucasians, not playing. I'm like, yo, they eating it up. Nah, my son is not about to have a concussion, break his neck for a football game. Y'all not weighing these people. So there is a big weight difference when it comes to southern states or different states, the way they apply, the rules and regulations. And you will see a marked difference where some kids don't hit puberty as fast as the other kids. And when you see the statue of Karmelo versus the pictures that they actually show us of the two twins that are pretty big, because you'll see just little up pictures and they try to make Karmelo look bigger than the other boy, but it doesn't work. The other boy is pretty big. The twins are pretty big. So that played a part in that as well. So let's just keep that in mind. We're just looking at all of the factors. We want to cross the color lines here. And I want you to be a parent. I want you to be a mother, be a father, getting that phone call, being aware that this stuff has been going on. What would you want to be done instead of this stupid race relation type of talk to be done? That's why we're here. That's why Grace is talking. We're doing our talk. We're doing our talk because this got to go. We got to fix this. We have to fix this, or we just gonna be homeschooling. All y'all gonna be homeschooling like Grace. Like, fuck it, I just gave up. I gave up after a while because I had a different mindset from the school. And then you're gonna lock the kids in there, and I can't come and get them after you not controlling the fights. Shit, not today.
Memorial's got a football program it's in a process, and we want everybody to know that it's a family and they're there together. So, but just to put your arms wrap around the support. This is Hunter. Did you want to talk to him?
No. Let's watch Hunter. Look how quick Hunter is. Hunter ain't no baby. He towering over both of these women. Let's keep this in mind. I just want you guys to look at everything, though.
He's a good kid.
Look at my baby. And I got love. I got love for all types of kids, all types of people, no matter what I talk about. I'm going to tell y'all now, my two baby patients that I take care of in the DEI area in the mountains are white babies. And I love them. They are babies. They are kids. We are sick in America. Sick. But I will tell the truth. He's big, okay?
We just got a little altercation. That's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just
listen to this. Listen to Austin. This is the guilt. Y'all guys, please. This is hard. Austin, listen to his brother. He says, we just had an altercation, but everybody knows that my brother is good. We just had an altercation, but everybody knows my brother is good. What does that mean? What does that say to you? Something deeper was going on with this young man's behavior.
He's a good kid. We just got a little altercation. That's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude, and just took my brother.
Altercation. We just had an altercation. One mistake from that dude. He's not even saying that the dude did it intentionally because he was there. He knows something has been going on. I'm just drawing context clues. That's what nursing taught me, to make inference. Listen, he called Karmelo that dude that made a mistake. Thank you, Jesus, that you don't see the rage in this interview. The next interview, I think that I see, you can see him starting to set in because he's listening to all of this Esau rhetoric, not white people, Caucasian people rhetoric, but Esau rhetoric. Y'all remember we broke down what Esau was. So when we talk about Esau, we are not offending all of the Caucasian races, European races. We are offending the spirit of Esau. Let's make it make sense. Let's go.
He didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it was going to be mine so soon. I'm not best friend with my brother my whole life, but if y'all could just not y'all, sorry. Just thank y'all for just comforting us, and the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me. And I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family, so we'll just stay together.
Now, what I'm showing you here, guys, too, we taking you on an emotional roller coaster this morning. The pain. What I'm showing you is the pain, because what the other content creators and people in the news are monetizing off of the pain, but they're not honing in on the actual pain. Look at his face. My baby is hurting. He know the situation was uncalled for and should not have happened. He said it was a mistake. And he said that he know that there was an altercation. He know that people know that his brother's a good person. More is going to come out.
Our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, between two human beings. And we did everything together. Clean the dishes together, do the artwork together, sports. You name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. It's just really heartbreaking to see.
If I was in the wrong, he always take my back no matter what. Listen to the details. It's supposed to be if I was in the wrong, he corrects me. He's a good guy. You listen to what his own brother is saying. That's why I said we cannot take sides. We have to look at this from a different perspective. This is a systematic issue. Our kids are on bad behavior. We have a disconnect from our kids. We're not teaching them. We're not homeschooling them. When they come 8 hours from school, it's like, get out of my face. It's not going to work. It's dangerous now.
He's someone that cares for you that much and does everything.
Listen.
Around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. It's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what.
Not me.
Pass away like that.
Not I. That's why my family be mad at me, because I'd be like, no, that was wrong. That's why half of the YouTube streets be mad at me, because I'd be like, nah, I don't care. I like you, but that's wrong. No, you can't do that. How you say? Selective anger. Selective what's right and what's wrong. Oh, it's okay for you to be wrong. I'm going to ride or die for you no matter what. No, I'm going to check this so you don't do this shit again, so we don't have to be involved, so I don't have to go kick ass with you just so we can survive right now, because your bad decisions. But I'm going to check you as a friend, as a mother, as a sister, as a brother. This screams dysfunction to me. It does.
Mm-hmm. Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. He's like, make me move. Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I looked at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So.
Yeah, because there's a lot of holes that's missing in that statement that you just said. It is a whole lot of holes. If we're living with compassion, why would you even care somebody under an inanimate object like a tent and it's pouring down damn raining? Who cares that y'all opposition? This is a football high school game. The fuck? That's how rowdy we get for child's play. And that's even adults. Adults with this football kid play shit. Got us like, oh, we gonna kill everybody if my team don't win. We gonna protest it. Y'all need to take it the fuck down. They really have us in our kid face just going to the left about this football thing and sports thing. Literally, it is you know how Rome used to do to the peasants, entertain them, feed them, and then just tax them, and they're poor and desperate. That's what the fuck is going on with us. You thinking it's the best life ever. We playing sports, we represent. You're being fucking played. All it is for a damn game. I just gotta be real. We got to grow up. This is not fun competition.
Just that's just what I saw, and I try to help them, but
it's too much.
It's just senseless.
It's too much missing. So we gotta see this trial for us as adults to make a logical decision of what we believe or interpret it. We have to hear everything. You see how Grace go in there and we dissect stuff? Something is not right.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid, real strong. And I know I'm strong too, but he's a little stronger. But
he's a strong kid, strong man. Why would somebody do that for an argument? But you admit that he grabbed his book bag allegedly. So he grabbed the book bag, and Karmelo had enough time to go into that book bag and get the knife before. It's a whole lot of stuff missing, guys. It's a whole lot of stuff missing. So we're going to revisit this interview when we do the breakdown again and just hear more, because I don't want to prolong this live. We're already an hour in, and I want to get into a little bit of Kyle Rittenhouse. I call him Kyle Rottenhouse, the boy who got away with murder to set a precedence for this type of stuff. And now we're just going to listen to a little bit of Karmelo Anthony's parents' interview. Now, y'all didn't know what happened where the father of Austin, Mr. Hunter, showed up. They showed up. And this is what I will say. This was very disrespectful and unwarranted. Also highlighting that Hunter's father is a lawyer. He's a lawyer. He knows better to stay away from the defendant or the plaintiff or whatever, especially in high stake case like this. I do believe him showing up at their interview was antagonistic, but it's like contradiction to this one. Hold on one second. It was another one. Let's listen. I think, hold on. I got another clip where I pray I got it. It's a clip where Mr. Hunter's father was being confronted by a Caucasian man on the phone, basically telling him, you need to step up and you need to denounce this because you're basically afraid and you're going to create another Karmelo. And then the father denounced having any ties with him. So let's just watch this real quick while I try to find that clip. And then you're going to see Mr. Hunt father just be here. Very disrespectful. It's weird because you're trying to play the victim, then you're not. And to my understanding, the mother of these twins and him are not together. There's some signs that say she can't stand him. But we're going to talk about that later on. Okay. It's some signs that she can't stand this man. She said, that is not my husband.
Colleague Jobin Puneker, and you can see he's standing there. He has sunglasses on. We've seen at least one person go up and try to speak with him. He doesn't really seem to be interacting. These are still photos, but when we were watching the video, he didn't really seem to be interacting with anyone. He's kind of standing in the back of the room, just waiting. Again, was asked to leave. Still standing in the room. So we are waiting on an update on what's going to happen with that as Dallas police have been called. But what we do know is that there was a court order put in place that Anthony, who is the accused killer in this case, was told he could not have any contact with Metcalf's family. This press conference was for Anthony's parents, Karmelo Anthony's parents. It's unclear if he is actually in the building. So it's unclear if Jeff Metcalf being here is a violation of a court order. We just know that Karmelo Anthony is not to have contact with the Metcalf family, indirectly or directly, according to a court order. So we are standing by to get more information on that. But we are told that Jeff Metcalf's presence in this room is the reason that we are late, the reason that we have not started this yet. So we are waiting on information on that.
Wow.
Okay. We have just learned that Karmelo Anthony is actually not in the building. So at this point, it doesn't seem that this would be a violation of a court order. So it's still a bit unclear what the delay is here. Perhaps him just being there is the reason. Okay, we just received information that the Next Generation Action Network, which is the advocacy group that is actually hosting this press conference, has said that they will not start this press conference until Jeff Metcalf leaves this office. So,
hold on, I'm trying to look for that clip.
And I'm just getting more and more information about this from our crew that's at the scene here. We're being told that there are no uniformed officers who are on the property at this time. Next Generation Action Network says they have plainclothes officers there, but Dallas police have been called to come here because Jeff Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf, has arrived here, and the advocacy group that is, really hosting this press conference says that they will not start the press conference while he is in.
Fast forward it.
So we are just standing by. Seems to be a bit of a still.
Right, thank you for your patience. I want to try to hear that, what was going on, why it was delayed. There he goes. There, just standing there being a weirdo. I got to say, being a weirdo and a creep. Like, you supposed to be mourning. You should be there with your son working through this thing, just laying low, letting everything play. What was his presence supposed to do there but to actually be intimidating or something? He's supposed to be the victim. That's what I'm saying. Victims are not acting like victims. You should be over there at your house making sure that your son is healing. But then you're here And now it's making them look like something is not right. And that's what I told y'all. It's more to this than we know. It's weird. And I do have,
Father is here, Jeff Metcalf. As you know, Karmelo Anthony was arrested, charged with murder in the death of Austin Metcalf. Police.
and again, I'm just gonna have to say the Esau and Jacob story. You see all the Jacob seeds back there. We just like, what the hell? Wow. Nobody confront him. Nobody's doing nothing. Nobody's causing no issues. Even though, his son is the victim, he should not have been there. So let's just listen to the interview a little bit, and then we're going to get to where I say this action is contraindicating to what he said on the phone with this white supremacist that was trying to bait him into some BS. I have to respect him for what he said to the white supremacist and also leaving here quietly when he should not have came. Why? I would not even want to see the killers of my kids or their family because I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. I still got emotional healing to do. That's why God has protect Grace. I'm just going to tell you because I already told God if something happened to my kids and things like that, we making the news, guns blazing. I'm not going to make it to jail. So that right there wouldn't even been suitable for me because I would have been trying to get at the parents. Just being upset, I do apologize, y'all. I do get a little wild when it comes to things that I love. But I always told God that, please protect them kids because it's going to be all hell and fury. And they're going to be like, yo, this turned to a vigilant and everybody. Okay. Sorry, I just had a flash. I ain't about to play with my kids, and that's why I correct them. I correct them in their wrongdoing. I try to prevent things. I'm involved because I know that my reaction is not going to be good. No. I guess that's the other side y'all see in Mama Levi. I'm not about to play.
Of Austin Metcalf, who was the teenager.
I will give it to these parents. They are good. They are supposed to behave like this. I'm not telling y'all to do what I do. Please don't feel the way I feel. Okay, we're not trying to cause anarchy. Just let it be one of me that feel like that, okay? I'm keeping it real.
Stabbed and killed the tracking 2 weeks ago. He is being asked to leave escorted out of a press conference that is being held where the parents of the child who was accused of
Y'all like, what did she say? Look at the hand movement. It looks like they're doing some masonry hand movements. Check it out. It's not a joke. I know hand movements. I know handshakes. Yeah, my great-granddad was a Freemason. I rebuke that. Check this out.
Of Austin Metcalf, who was the teenager who was stabbed and killed.
I know I'm going deeper than what y'all believe, but check the handshake, and you're going to see how he repositioned it to the same position that he shaked the first kid here. This is masonry thing, Freemasonry shit.
2 weeks ago, he is being asked to leave escorted out of a press conference.
Okay. Handshake on top at the bottom. Now watch what the other
that is being held where the parents of the
child. He went to shake and then he flipped the hand to put it on top of his hand. Go look at Freemasonry handshakes. What hands touch the other? Allegedly. Why did I see that? Jagged.
Child who was accused of killing Metcalf's child are expected to speak. You could see that.
I'm not saying that his kid father part of Masons, but I'm sorry. I just saw that and it just was like, whoa. Y'all know I be seeing stuff. Now let's listen to a little bit of what the parents are saying so we could kind of make an inference of what's going on their part. And then we're going to see that little interview piece where Hunter father is denouncing white supremacy.
He's shaking hands with officers. He was asked to leave. That press conference is starting now. Here's Anthony's family.
Hello. Back door. Okay, I'm gonna spray this across y'all before I get started.
Make it go a little faster.
Just make sure you let me know if any one of your cameras are.
All right.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing. We all good? Okay. All right. So it don't be asked later, as that was disrespect, attack a grieving family, even if I disagree with them. When I have stood before this podium for people who have died at the hands of law enforcement, I have asked for that same manner of respect. And even when the shoe is on the other foot, I will not do that. And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character. Who is not invited, he knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family.
He a lawyer.
But he did it.
He is a lawyer. The father is a lawyer.
And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay?
Thank you. Let's get to what the mother is saying. We're not gonna listen because we kind of long on this broadcast. We long-winded. We try not to be long-winded for our first morning broadcast. I got some things to do in the lawn. We're gonna be outside getting my lawn together, so guys, let's get this wrapped up. Now let's listen, okay? Thank you for being here with Grace for her first morning show. I don't know if this is going to be a thing, but what I am doing is opening this page, my page platform, to the daytime TV, really pushing the algorithm and stretching it as much as I can. So I want to say thank you for being with me, listening to our commentary, expanding your mind, and not choosing the side till we figure it out. And even if we figure it out, we don't have to choose the side. We just have to learn what not to do. You know what I'm saying? To not be involved in this type of stuff. We got to do better as a nation. They're taking us through race war. They, the news, our government. It's not us. It's not everybody. It's not us. Not all of us. It is the system.
Every single day to provide for us.
So after it has taken, serve y'all.
Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Hayes. I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband worked hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her. And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a 2-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution, we believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in the legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
Let's stop right here. This is what I'm saying. This is so weird because you would think that this was the victim family who was so emotionally riled up in tears. Now, I'm not saying everybody more is different, but we saw both interviews and I know both moms are upset. But the speaking and the compare and contrast of the subject matter was much different. She's talking about the truth will be revealed. We didn't spend the money. Why are the people talking about a GoFundMe that she received over $500,000 for defense for her son in this case, but no one is saying that about the Kyle Rittenhouse, and I call him Rittenhouse case, and how he became a local celebrity after murdering people in protest. Behind him, not even supposed to have a gun. We're going to just get in a little bit into that. This is the dirty politics that goes on in America that create these race wars. She says she believes in the Constitution. That means that it has to be some type of argument of self-defense, some type of argument of right to be, freedom to be. I am getting from this that it is more deeper. I'm getting from this that these people may have some paper trail of them making complaints about this. I'm probably just predicting too far, but it's just looking too weird. Why is alleged the killer's family looking like the victim? And why is the news trying to pull everything out of their ass? Esau, the spirit of Esau. Oh, they raise money. You raise money for a murderer. Okay. A lot of times, even the cop that killed Eric Gardner, y'all was raising money for hella police that did bad stuff. So it's disgusting to me. That's why I could not take news or like other cuts from other people's content because they literally gonna burn in hell for things they're saying. I'm just gonna keep it real. Literally gonna burn in hell because they're not looking at this like a human issue. They're looking at it as a race issue, which is going to keep division going on in America and going to keep us down the path of self-destruction. We're already social, economically, and spiritually almost dead. Economically, thank you to Trump. Shout out to Trump. Fake ass tariffs. Calling bluffs with our economy. And now shit is up and stuck. But that's a whole nother thing. Now, this is just, excuse me. And thank you, God, that he's healing me from this long suppressive cough that I had over the last 2 months. Shout out to my sister, Aqua, who have given me some Chinese remedies. And I'm about to go do that this morning and inhale and dry up all this stuff. Please pray for Grace Levi. But we're going to watch this. Shout out to Aqua. I love you. Y'all get to meet her one day. This is the father actually talking to this white supremacist, this disgusting descendant of Esau. And I'm going to say it because of his fucking rhetoric. It's just rhetoric. And then we're going to hear how the father responds. And I have to give him respect for this. I have to give him respect on the way he responded to this. Let's play this real quick.
That you're okay with Austin's name being plastered with this particular movement. Now, I've already addressed that. So now I want you to say one more time that you agree with your son's name and face being attached to this movement?
Hey, Jeff Metcalf, this is Jake Lang here. I wanted to talk to you and not be led into a question. This is an illegal argument. It's called leading.
Do you agree with your son?
Can I have a conversation?
Hello, is anybody there? Just wait.
Issue with you, do you want a leading argument?
Before that. You could have called him.
I've been reaching out. I'm one of the biggest figures in America.
Jeff,
Nobody's ever
given your message.
Who the hell is this guy? He another Trump? I'm one of the biggest figures in America. Who the fuck is this? Sorry, it's still morning time. This one made me sick. He made me sick right here. That's the spirit of Esau that I don't play with. Check. Right.
I texted you your message.
I texted all family members, everybody I could find.
I've given you your message, and here's the response.
You've not given my message. You've given your message.
What he said was this. What he said was this. He said that you, as a father, should be on the bus with him, delivering the message that he's delivering.
Unfortunately, he's not a father, and the gentleman with is not a father. Maybe they don't understand what loss is. But at the end of the day, I've given your message. You understand what loss is? And they thought that it wasn't your message.
Let me have 1 minute of my message
Call
to Jeff
him.
Metcalf.
Call him.
Okay, what's his number?
Bullshit, bro. On the phone right now.
So Jeff, do you, huh?
This is not a good faith discussion.
Okay, hold on. Here's Jeff. Hold on. So Jeff, go ahead. Go ahead, Jake.
Hey, Jeff, it's Jake Lang here. Yes, sir. What can I do for you? Jeff, first of all, my entire heart rests in your hands. I would be in my position, not even as somebody even knew your son, but somebody that shares the same understanding. I grew up as a 17-year-old young white man too, and I grew up in fear of my life around black people because they were killing.
Why the fuck are you afraid of us? We don't even want to be around white people like that. I done told y'all we don't really want to be around white people because we know how y'all feel about us. We're literally forced to. So what the fuck is he? Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's early in the morning. What is he talking about? He know he ain't grew up in no hood, because if he grew up in the hood, he would have loved black people, because all the white boys that come to black community love black people and love the black women, and y'all become part of us because we accept you, we love you, we treat you like human, because 9 out of 10 you in poverty just like us. So I don't know where the hell he grew up that he was afraid for his life, because nobody pays attention to y'all as much. We're such in poverty that we don't give a damn about the interactions with y'all. I'm keeping it real. White people, this is how black people feel. We ain't beat. We have to deal with y'all because y'all run the system, because everything we have tried to start has been burnt down. More than just Black Wall Street. Well, Lake Lanier was literally over Blacksville, Oscarsville. We can name several places where we have tried to establish and separate. Man, you need to take a whole glass and shut the hell up this morning. Sorry, Esau got me mad. I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm gonna just let Esau finish this and let them talk, and then we just gonna start to turn off, because I don't like that. You a damn lie if you grew up around us, because you wouldn't be looking like that. Your ass would be cool as hell. Probably a little high, get some tattoos. I'm just saying, but you won't be talking this shit.
And robbing people around me all the time. And I don't understand, as I was a father, you could sit idly by and not condemn the culture that killed your son. There is an epidemic problem in this country, and your voice could be one of the loudest voices in this country, but you've chosen to recoil out of fear and continue the suppression. Why will you not stand with me and with the rest of the people? We're not calling for racial divide. We're not calling for hatred. We're saying 350,000 attacks on white people by black people a year in this country is wrong. Why?
Where did this number come from? I don't think this number is right. He must have just added up all the murders, all the killings, all types of stuff, because I don't think this is right. We don't pay attention to white people like that. We don't hate y'all. We don't hate white people. We just want y'all to leave us the fuck alone and stop messing up everything we set up. Do you understand that? We don't hate white people. We don't care about y'all that much. Can I get that through in this message? The fuck? Okay. Shit, I wish I was there.
Can't you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today. Yes, I am, sir.
In other news, Georgia residents are...
Just calm me down. You're going to hear what his father said. His father's like, you finished? You finished with the bullshit?
You are part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide than bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk.
My son, let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir. You are creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness.
You are being weak. I gotta be honest with you about that, sir.
You're being weak. Condemn your son's killer and the culture that caused it.
Hey, Jeff.
That's the problem. You've been submitted.
Hold on, Jeff.
You've been submitted.
Jesus, come on down, give us some healing You know, that just made me mad. But shout out to Mr. Hunter's father. Even though I made those statements to say that it was weird him showing up, there's more going on behind it. Obviously, he knows that something bad happened and that this should not be heightened and considered a racial issue. That guy pissed me off this morning. I just got to sing it so I can stay calm. Do you see why it was so hard for me to even talk about this and find clips? Because these people go down the yellow brick road with the hatred and the rhetoric. He said, you're making more of these. Karmelo Anthony, but obviously what we broke down in the first story, it's the school system. It's the parents not addressing shit. It's the police not being preventative. It is the rhetoric that causes more violence that begets the selected bad behaviorism. I done made that whole term up. That's what goes on. That's a fucking problem. You're going to select when it's good to act like this and this, that, and the third. No. Bad is bad. Wrong is wrong. So shout out to Mr. Hunter's father for Mr. Metcalf for being a little suspect, but then coming back like, yo, we're not about to do this. I ain't about to be going to hell because you making a race war. All right. So this is how we're going to end it because we are kind of long-winded. We're going to get into News Nation where self-defense, where they talk about Cuomo interviews a defense lawyer that talks about the fact if Karmelo has a self-defense argument. Now, that first case I told you, I don't think it's self-defense. It's literally kids fighting kids. Now, I don't know if this is going to be considered self-defense, but I do believe that there are preemptive factors that could have been addressed before this shit got to this. It was school versus school. You know, that's cute, but y'all need to have dance off. Y'all need to have pep rallies where the cheerleaders dancing off and bands going against each other, not violence. I lived through that where two schools were fighting against each other, and I got lucky because I was from the hood, but I had another school that used to come to my technical school because I was a geek, and they used to come to fight, and I was from the hood, so and I used to see them like, oh snap, what you doing up here? Like, we about to y'all up, not me. But they literally used to come to fight for no reason. These are things that's been going on at our schools. These are things that goes on in Dalton schools as well. Crime Chasers has been letting y'all know in Dalton, Illinois, in no school in the area that them kids been fighting with knives, fighting and jumping each other, recording it. Stop it. That is not just happening here. This is a systematic issue, and we have to address it because they're going to lock our kids up. And then if they find that you knew anything about it or they got the gun from an unlocked safe in your house, you're going to jail too. Because guess what? The whole system plan is to lock us all up. You didn't realize that yet? Section 8 and locking us all up, taking all our money through taxes. I said it. And dividing us in the process. Watch this real quick as a defense lawyer talk about, does he have an actual defense argument?
Which was crazy. Today, they reduced it to 250 grand, which is, still sizable, but he wound up getting out. All right, so Mark, first of all, the idea of race, I mean, you lived it with Zimmerman in a big way. There's so many people who believe that that's why Zimmerman wound up beating that case. But what do you see here? What are your questions?
You see my head go down. That's another to the chest. You remember Zimmerman did our baby who was walking with Skittles? Let's move forward.
What will matter?
So you see, you make us think about you because of these things. We don't think about you. You see what the pain that we have to go through as the Black community, and it keeps being digged deeper and deeper. Why I'm having these type of talks to pull us out of the rhetoric.
No, it's definitely a consideration. It always is, whether it's a sort of obvious what we're doing or the implicit one, because we all carry these implicit biases with us that perceive or impact how we perceive an event. Now, what's really it's going to come down to, and I disagree with the guy who said this is not a self-defense case. Yesterday, I think he said it. This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor? Was it an aggressive act for him to go up and say, get away from the tent? Did he do more than that? My understanding was maybe he touched him and put hands on him. Granted, that makes the decedent in this case maybe the initial aggressor. But you really still then have to look at whether or not Karmelo Anthony responded with appropriate force, he used a deadly weapon, and whether or not he was in imminent fear of great bodily injury. That's the standard in Texas and most every state, to determine whether or not his actions, the way he perceived him, the way Karmelo Anthony perceived him when he took out that knife and stabbed him. The good part is if the decedent was the aggressor initially. The bad part for Karmelo, if in fact it's true that he sort of said, touch me and you'll see, because that's that aggression, that's that predisposition towards.
And that's that child play nonsense. Do you see? Touch me and you see. They don't even have no damn common sense. If he was planning this, he would have been quiet. So we know this is not preemptive. His ass is literally acting like a teenager. Both of them.
It's violence that doesn't have a place in a true self-defense case.
What's the most important question for you in this, Mark? And then I want the same from you, Professor, if you have one. Go ahead, Mark.
Sure. Who truly was the initial aggressor? How did this unfold such that if in fact he had a reason to believe great bodily injury was imminent, was it reasonable? Was he pushed? Was he shoved? Was he hit? Because don't forget, it's the moment, but you are allowed to respond to great deadly force with your own great deadly force, or at least your perception of great deadly force. So it's really going to be fact-based. I do think that race, it's going to be played out on social media. It also is going to be played out in a courtroom if you ever get there, because in today's day and age, I would argue that someone like Karmelo Anthony now has a heightened concern over the past few years and the way we've sort of degraded some of the progress we may have thought we made over the past decade, as far as how we're treating young black males in the system, such that maybe he would have felt more preyed upon than he.
He said, I love him. He said he tried it, though. He said the way that the system has degraded black people or black young boys in the system most recently. This not most recently. This been a systematic thing. And now Esau don't give a damn. He's saying it. I hate you. You were foreign to get the hell out. He's just to go sidebar. You know Trump is going to try to deport every last one of us. I got more to show y'all. He even tried to deport a white guy that was born out here. This shit ain't no joke. This ain't no joke.
He otherwise would. Interesting. You're right. We're going to be talking about this for a long time.
Professor, what do you got?
Come on, Professor.
Hello. Oh, I'm
Professor?
sorry.
Yeah, Professor.
Professor.
This is all about who the jury is. This will all be determined by the jury. If the racial factors were reversed, if a white man had killed an unarmed black man, everybody would be on the reverse side of this.
We just watched that. Y'all just don't know going on. We just gonna keep y'all up to date and see what the outcome of the white boy stabbing this Hispanic guy. And obviously it was aggression on both sides. Let's see what happens.
In a society where everything is judged by race. You know, the Bible says to judges and prosecutors, don't recognize people, just do abstract justice. We're way, way, way beyond that. If the racial elements were reversed there, virtually all the people who are calling for him to be acquitted would be calling for him to be convicted, and vice versa. Let's not kid ourselves. We live in a race-conscious society, and jury selection, which, of course, your other guest is so brilliant at and did so well in the Zimmerman case, is determine the outcome of this case, without a doubt.
For me, it's as simple as, how do they feel about this proposition? Bringing a knife to a fist fight. Right. Mark O'Mara, we'll see what happens. Alan.
Hey, it ain't that easy, guys. It ain't that easy, because people, one, walking around with a knife is not against the law. That's first and foremost. People pocket knives all the time. And I'm be honest, you know what? It's so funny, because it is not funny. And most recently, you know, my kids are at this age, same age. My son is very cool, calm, collected, very stoic. And I still know as a mother that when he was going through his emotional liability, when we were going through things, he had a pocket knife. I took that motherfucker. that thing right in my drawer right now. When he argued with his girlfriend and bang on the wall, he ain't got weapons that I gave him because I know their emotional liability. Not that they would really want to, they just don't know how to handle certain things. But having a knife is not against the law, especially a pocket knife. He has one. Now it's up to the parents. You see how I was like, let me take this motherfucker from him because that girl done got him mad. He done punched a hole in my wall. Shit, we not about to do that one. Also to the fact of the open carry states and us providing our kids with guns at a young age. I bought my son his first gun when he was 16, but he never was able to have the gun in his possession. I had my gun, he had his gun. I took him to the gun range, once in a blue moon, and that's how he learned about it. Took a gun class to learn how to shoot, and guess what? Now he has emotional intelligence. Just last year when he turned 19, I gave him the gun to keep in his car because he was doing Ubering and things like that, and we're in the A. But as I told him, if you have to go anywhere that you need to pull that gun out, you don't need to go. And guess what? As soon as he was emotionally lied about and I saw was having a little issue with the way he was responding to me, guess where that motherfucking gun was taken? Right back in my possession somewhere where he cannot find it. So we have to be responsible as adults to see where our kids are at emotionally. And I do believe that my son has emotional intelligence by being a second-degree black belt, and I still took it from him. You see what I'm saying? I'm not no damn fool. So again, as we talk about young people having guns, this is the last thing that we're going to show you. Mr. Stinky Rittenhouse. I can't stand this little white supremacist little boy. And I made him a local celebrity. The young boy who killed people at the protest. That one was not supposed to have the gun, wasn't legally supposed to have the gun. Two went to the protest to be against the protesters, and then end up killing protesters and getting away with it. How disgusting. If you watch this case, him and the judge were hugged up, all types of shit. This boy right now, Kyle Rittenhouse, now full-time gun shop owned employee. He's a gun shop employee as of February 11, 2025 in Florida. He has went to the congressional floor, to the Capitol to speak on behalf of right to carry. What? Do y'all not see we're living in a sick society? Just giving you an update about this one. This one right here, I can't. So this is his input in this situation. Makes sense, dummy. Kyle Rittenhouse insert himself in the Karmelo Anthony case to call supporters stupid and instantly regrets it as critics remind him of facts he conveniently forgot. Because this is what white supremacy do. This is what people who want to win an argument do. You have selective hearing and selective memory. You're going to pull the things that's significant to make your argument right instead of just the whole story like how Grace do. I tell on every motherfucking body and myself, like, damn, I shouldn't have did it like that. But guess what? I learned. So supremacists, people who want to cover up bad behavior, that's what they do. Selective hear, selective pick what they want instead of the whole story. Again, what this guy did. It was just a matter of time before Kyle Rittenhouse, and I know it's Rittenhouse, but I'm calling him Rotten. Disgusting. Injects himself in the controversy over alleged killer Karmelo Anthony, the black 17-year-old charged in the stabbing death of a white athlete at a Dallas area track meet. Them words right there, as though this boy, Karmelo, wasn't an athlete as well. It should have been where two athletes was involved in a scuffle and one of the athletes ended up with a deadly stab wound. That made sense, but we could already see that this is a little biased, but we're going to keep it moving. May have cited Rittenhouse case when arguing against the right-wing mob that had declared Anthony guilty of murder in Austin Metcalf, also 17, even though he claims he acted in self-defense. Rittenhouse who is white, was 17 when he shot two men dead, who he says threatened him to harm him in Kenosha County, Wisconsin in August 2020. Y'all remember? Mega leaped to his defense. The Mega supporters went. But many of those same people have expressed outrage now that the judge has reduced Anthony bond from $1 million to $250,000. As you saw in the other case with the Caucasian boy in the other Texas district, it went down to $175,000. Nobody said anything. Anthony is now under house arrest with the ankle monitor. The suspect family and judge, Angela Tucker, Black Republican, have since been subjected to torrent of criticism and racist attack online from mega social media influencers. You see what I'm saying? I can't even watch this nonsense. Some of whom says this case is an example of anti-white racism. We don't care about you guys. We don't hate you guys. We just don't like what y'all do to us. You can't think you could bully somebody or hit somebody and expect us to like you. We don't want to be around white supremacists. We question all white people because of this shit. And we don't want to question all white people. But then our black coons will say, oh, it's not a race thing. Oh, don't talk about race. Because I had people come under my thing was like, I like the way you talk about God, but when you talk about race, you need to stop. Don't tell me to fucking stop. Because this is biblical. I explained it to you. Don't tell me to stop. There is an obvious race issue here. And we need to address it before everybody die. Because at the end of the day, God will destroy us all. You think he's going to let us just keep destroying each other? Destroying each other and shit? Huh? You big and bad white supremacists, you're big and bad, bigger than God. That he's not going to shut this shit down one day. That's why we don't want to have nothing to do with y'all. White supremacists. White supremacists. Not the regular white people who are our cousins. Okay? The ones that mix with whorites. We talking to your ass. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get to the end of this. I love y'all. Ryan House has dealt with similar backlash after offering his commentary in the post public Wednesday on X. So the left thinks that Karmelo Anthony did was self-defense. But what I did wasn't. So they saying Karmelo, he's like, okay, you saying self-defense, but what I did wasn't. Completely different. You did something completely different. You went to a protest. Anti-protesters, you had a gun you wasn't supposed to. You literally started something, killed 2 people, shot 3 people, I think. Yeah, completely different. Can someone please help me make sense? Damn, you slow. You wasn't in school, boy. Okay. Rittenhouse wrote, he called Anthony's family spokesman activist Dominique Alexander plain old stupid in a separate post in which he goes on to hawk wholesale firearms. And we're going to stop right there. This is America. This is what we got. We're going to follow up with this. Kyle Rittenhouse's little stinking self. And I'm not going to talk anything more about him because he just discussed my broadcast. But I did want you guys to know that there is a severe stink in America, a severe bias, and it's not underlining. You can't hide it no more. And what's happening now with what you saw with the protest, the hands-off protest where we didn't participate, we're showing you that we don't give a damn about this system no more. We're showing you that your system is going to destroy and employ on itself. We're showing you that Obadiah will come true. In white America, you need to pick a side because your controllers of your system, they don't like you. They don't care about you. They just use you as a political ploy to push their agenda. Now you're talking mega, all this white supremacy. But just 2 weeks ago or a week ago, you were talking about all of the things that Trump were taking away from you. He's still doing that shit. But the news has switched its focus to get y'all riled up again. Y'all see what's going on around here? Around here. All right. I want to say thank you for being here with Grace. And this was one of our first morning shows. Don't know if we're going to keep on doing this, but we're going to keep on stretching the algorithm, see where we fit in. We're going to keep our topics diverse. I want to send a shout out to all of the Levi family that supports me no matter what. Y'all literally in my Bible stories. I love it because y'all know I love Bible stories. Y'all here for my Alexis content. Y'all here for the Dalton and Thornton content. And now y'all here for this. I want to say I love you and thank you so much for being here with Grace Levi. I'll see you tonight at 7. We have an unhinged Dalton police story for you. We did it. All right, I'm back. I'm up. All right. Good morning, sir. I know you up. All right. I got up a little bit. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, I woke up with like new cravings. Just gonna see what happens. But I have what earlier this week, so let's see what happens. Today, it'll be tough. I just had to feel it too, like, hopefully, I don't know if this bitch gonna give me the 4 hours. I'm looking to see if they're responding to email. At this point, if they don't give it to me by next week, I'm like, don't worry, I'll put in contact with the folks right now. I'm gonna start calling that agency that has you know what I'm saying, ownership. And I'm gonna see because if Ronnie didn't come home this weekend, I'm gonna try to get a date with this place. You see what I'm saying? And take it from there. Oh,